What if I told you that with every job application you make, you could get 5 new connections, grow your LinkedIn brand, and potentially get a conversation with the hiring manager? It might sound too good to be true, but it's not. Most people apply for jobs and just pray, but smart people really use their applications to create new connections. My name is Alice. I worked in recruitment for over a decade and have been doing career coaching for just as long. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can turn every job application into a networking goldmine. Here's what most people tend to do wrong. They find a vacancy that they really like, they amend their CV, they amend their cover letter, which is good, but then they apply and throw their application into the void, hoping that they'll get some feedback. They don't get any feedback, they find another vacancy, they go through the same process again, and with every application, they get more and more frustrated at the lack of feedback. And yet at the same time, networking just seems so overwhelming. Now, here's what you've got to know about today's job market. It is currently an employer market. That means companies hold all the power. Companies know they can take their time. They are waiting for the perfect candidate. And that means if you want to be the perfect candidate, you have got to stand out to them. And what is the best way that you can stand out to a company? It's by having someone on the inside advocating for you. The problem with a lot of the traditional networking advice is that it's all about building relationships over a long period of time, which is generally how networking does work. But what if you don't have time to build a relationship over 6 months? What if you don't have time to go to all the industry events? That is where the 15-minute method comes in. So this method is specifically designed for people who are looking for quick wins, for people who don't have months on end to build those relationships, for people who are looking for a job right now. And it's all about using your time in the most efficient way. And that's what we're about. How can we kill 3 birds with 1 stone? Because let's face it, you're busy. So let's go through how this process works. So the 15-minute networking method allows you to kill 3 birds with 1 stone. You're going to apply for a job that you really like. You are going to grow your network and you're going to grow your LinkedIn brand. All from your sofa, all within 15 minutes. And the best part about this method, even if you don't get hired for that particular job, you now have connections in an organization that you are interested in. Those are fantastic connections to have for future applications. So let me walk you through the process step by step. Step 1 is crucial, but very obvious. Make sure you do not skip this step. You've got to find a vacancy that you actually want to apply for. Now, why do you need to apply for a vacancy before you start the networking? If you apply for the vacancy first, you now have a legitimate reason to reach out to people. You've actually found a vacancy where you know your skills and experience would really add value to that organization. And that's what organizations are always looking for. Can you help us? How can you add value? So now we've got a legitimate reason to reach out to people and show them, yes, I can add value. I would be of use to you and your organization. So find the vacancy, make sure you amend your CV. If needed, make sure you write a cover letter, and through the appropriate channels, you're going to apply for the job. That is step 1. So now you've applied for the vacancy, we're going to move on to steps 2 and 3, and that is growing your network and actually growing your LinkedIn brand. I will open up LinkedIn and walk you through these steps, but let me just give you a high-level overview of what you're going to be doing. When it comes to growing your network, you want to find between 5 and 7 people who work at the organization where you just applied. And we want to look for 3 different types of people. We want to look for peers, so people doing the same job that you just applied for. We want to look for people who are responsible for hiring, so that is HR and recruitment. And we want to look for potential hiring managers and senior individuals, so maybe directors, VPs, senior managers. Those are the 3 different groups we want to look for. Let's go on to LinkedIn so I can show you how you can do that. So open up your LinkedIn profile, and the first thing we're going to do is we're finding between 5 and 7 individuals at your target organization. And remember, we're looking for peers, people responsible for hiring, and also those more senior individuals. Let's start with peers. You want to go into the search bar here and you would type in your job title. So if it was a financial controller, we would put financial controller. Now, why do I put the brackets? Because the brackets mean LinkedIn will search for both financial and controller together. Otherwise, LinkedIn will search for financial and controller, and they might come up separate. Hit enter. You now have a few different options. We've got posts, we've got people, and we've got jobs, and even more options up here. We want to click on people because we want to find people who have the job title financial controller. We then want to filter it further. We want to look at the current company and also the location. You can do that here at the top with the quick menu, or you can click on all filters. We can go down here. I would do Netherlands as that's where I'm based. And let's just say we've applied for a financial controller role at Adyen. We would type in that. Then we're going to click show results. So now I have a list of individuals who are based in the Netherlands and currently work at Adyen. Now, of course, I'm not going to send a connection request to all of these people. So at this point, you want to go through some of these profiles and pick out a few individuals that you feel would be most beneficial to connect with. A pro tip here, try to connect with the people that are active on LinkedIn. So people who are actively commenting and have a profile that looks quite up to date. That signals they're much more likely to be on LinkedIn and active on LinkedIn. Once you have found a few individuals, don't connect with them yet. We want to go and find a few more people in our other desired areas. So we would type in recruiter. LinkedIn will save your search criteria. So we've got people in the Netherlands at Adyen who have recruiter somewhere in their job title. Now go through this list and again find a few people that you think would be most beneficial to connect with. And then lastly, you would put in the final job title of those senior individuals. At this point, you should have a list of between 5 and 7 people that you can connect with at your target company. Sometimes people think that seems like a lot, but it's not. Not everybody will accept your connection request. Not everybody is active on LinkedIn. So it's better to send 5 connection requests because maybe only 3 people are actually active and will accept. Now, before you go and send them a connection request, there's one final step, and this is the part of the process that grows your LinkedIn brand. You are going to go to their LinkedIn profile and check, have they created content? If they have, you're going to like their content and you're going to thoughtfully engage with it. Don't overthink this. You can write something as simple as, thank you so much for sharing this. It's really insightful. Why is this step so crucial? Because 5 minutes later, when you send them a connection request, you're no longer a stranger. You're actually somebody who thoughtfully engaged with their content. And how does this help you grow your LinkedIn brand? Because now people are seeing the type of content you're engaging with and the type of organizations you're interested in. So this is signaling to people that you are an expert in your area. If you are a financial controller and you engage and comment on a post by another financial controller at a fintech company, it signals to people this is an area you're genuinely interested in. It helps you grow your brand. Let me show you how you can do that. So let's imagine this individual was someone you wanted to connect with. You would scroll down their profile and go to activity. Under activity, you can see all of their posts. If you click here, it will show all posts. This shows the most recent posts. It shows you when it was posted. And if it was a repost, it puts up here, it was reposted. If this was his most recent post, I would still like and I would still engage with it. Even though it was 2 months ago, that's absolutely acceptable. But he's done a post that was 4 days ago. So you're going to open this up. You will read through the post. You will like and you will engage. So you want to go ahead and do that for the 5 to 7 people you have identified that you want to connect with at your target organization. So just imagine if 5 of those people had posted, you're growing your brand by that much. You're engaging and commenting on 5 posts. That's huge. Now you've done that, let's talk about the final step of this process, which is connecting. This is the part where you actually grow your network. So now we're going to move on to the connection part. If possible, you want to always add a note with every connection request, though I know that is not always possible. If you can, please make sure you do. And here are some templates you can use. Depending on the person you're connecting with, you always want to amend that template. For peers, something quite simple. I see we work in the same field, and I'm always keen to learn from people in my discipline. For more senior people, I work closely with, enter their role in my current position. It would be great to connect as I grow my network in this industry. And with recruiters, you can mention how interested you are in the organization. Do you notice what I'm not saying? I am not saying, I applied for a job, can you hire me? That part comes later. And the final step of this process is the follow-up. And this is a crucial step that so many people miss out. You have got to make sure that you're checking if people accept your connection request. And if they do, you must send them a message within 24 hours. You've got to strike while the iron is hot. And this is where most people, they stop. Their connection request gets accepted and they have no idea what to say, so they sort of run away. We're not going to do that. And here are some templates that you can use. Hi, thanks for accepting my connection request. I'm a huge fan of what's happening at, put company name. I recently applied for this position and I bring with me, put a few key qualifications. I feel this would add real value to the role. I hope I have the opportunity to speak with you if I progress in the interview process. Again, this template is not pushy. We're not asking for anything. I guarantee you 99% of the people sending messages on LinkedIn, they are all asking for something. They're asking for that person's time. Now, when you don't know this individual, you cannot ask them for their time. All you want to do in this message is flag your interest in the company. So do make sure that you amend the template. Put something very specific that shows this is not a copy and paste. Find something that you actually find interesting about the company and mention that. I'm a huge fan of. Insert what's been going on at that organization. And the last part, we're not asking them for anything. We're just saying, I really hope I get to speak with you. And I promise you that will intrigue people. They will then click on your name and they will go to your LinkedIn profile to check, who is this person? This is also why it's very important that your LinkedIn profile is optimized. So I will put at the bottom of this video a free LinkedIn optimization guide. So here's what happens when you do this consistently. So one of my clients who has been doing this consistently, she ended up with 30 new connections. She had 14 networking conversations and landed 3 interviews. And from those 3 interviews, she has received 2 offers. Another client of mine who's been doing this consistently gained 30 new connections in the space of a month. And a few months later, when his dream company was hiring, he had 2 people inside that company who could advocate for him. How amazing is that? Before we end this video, I really want to go through a few common mistakes that you must avoid. Number 1, when you are sending your connection request, don't be pushy. Don't mention that you applied for the job and can you have a conversation. If people think you want something from them, they are much more likely to reject the connection request. Number 2, if people accept your connection request, make sure you follow up. If you do not, that is such a lost opportunity, and follow up in a timely manner. Don't wait a week. And if you really don't know what to say, just copy and paste the template that I will have shared in this video. The third mistake, giving up too easy. This is a bit of a numbers game. Not everybody will accept. And out of the people who do accept your connection request, not everybody will respond to your message. That's okay. Do not expect to get 100% success rate. Some people are just not that active on LinkedIn, and other people are just very busy and don't have time. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. This is about perseverance. So keep going and trust the process. So now it's time for your homework. What I would like you to do is to find a vacancy that you want to apply for, and I want you to apply the 15-minute networking method. So find between 5 and 7 people at the organization, check if they've created content, engage, send connection requests, and send follow-ups. I am going to put in the text below this video the templates that you can use and also my free LinkedIn optimization guide. Because as previously mentioned, when you are networking on LinkedIn, you have got to make sure that your LinkedIn profile looks amazing. People need to land on your profile and say, I've got to hire this individual. So let me know, which company are you going to try this first with? Let me know in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe, as next week I'm going to be showing you how you can network at your dream companies even when they are not hiring. So remember, every application is a networking opportunity. Do not throw those opportunities away.